This is Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Welcome, I'm Ayo Deji. Makinde. Please remember you can follow the broadcast of this news on our website at www.nta.ng/live. Also on YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit us at Twitter, that's at NTA News Now, Facebook at Network News, and Instagram at NTA Network for updates. The 6th EU-African Union Summit has ended in Brussels with the heads of state and governments committing to a joint vision for 2030. This is the new driving force in promoting the two continents' common priorities as well as preserving their interests. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that President Muhammadu Buhari, who led Nigeria's delegation, is back in Abuja.
The joint vision is aimed at consolidating a renewed partnership for solidarity, security, peace, sustainable and sustained economic development as well as prosperity for African and European citizens as closest partners and neighbors. To this end, a €150 billion investment package has been announced to support their common ambition of building a more diversified, inclusive, sustainable and resilient economies. The partnership, which also addresses both the immediate opportunities and challenges as well as long-term possibilities, shows commitment to ensuring a fair and equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines. Consequently, the EU is providing at least 450 million doses to Africa by the middle of this year, and on that, $3 billion has already been provided to the COVAX facility. Team Europe is also mobilizing €425 million towards ramping up the pace of vaccination on the continent. The joint vision similarly shows commitment by European Union to supporting the full-fledged African health sovereignty in order for the continent to respond to future public health emergencies. Resolutions were also adopted on, amongst others, peace and security cooperation, debt service treatment, economic integration, illegal migration, illicit financial flows, human capital, as well as infrastructure development towards achieving a prosperous and sustainable Europe and Africa. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari is back in Abuja after getting Nigeria selected with 5 other African countries as host of the technology transfer hub for the manufacture of vaccines. He was received on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by the Chief of Staff to the President, Minister of the FCT, Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Finance and Administration, Director General, Department of State Services, and other senior government officials. In Abuja, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Governments at all levels must be committed, innovative and persistent towards the provision of quality and enduring infrastructure capable of giving the people the needed, productive and competitive edge to better their lives. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said this at the flag-off of the construction of the Angama-Oporoma Bridge in Bayelsa State. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
This is wonderful. The people are happy. They are excited for what is happening here. And this has always been what the Vice President has been saying, that when the federal and the state governments come together to work for the people, then the people are happy and their joy knows no bound. Madam,
sir.
Now, you can see the Vice President is here.
Yes.
He belongs to another party. The state governor is here. He belongs to another party. But they are working together.
Yes.
How do you feel? What is the state saying to you?
In short, we are enjoying the government. The way that they operate, they come together, they move things together, so we are happy. Because even the Bible says, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. So as we are in unity, we all are happy.
This is the mood here in Angama end of the Yanagua to Oporoma Road. This has been the vision and commitment of the leaders of the state to completing what was imagined almost 60 years ago.
The governance is a continuum, and sometimes what began in the heart of Moses will find fulfillment in the hands of Joshua.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo flags off the construction of one of the bridges along the road here at Angama, and he says the federal government is also committed to the project.
This is a partnership with the federal government of Nigeria. And President Muhammadu Buhari, in his typical open-mindedness, has done what previous administrations have not done. And I'm so happy and thankful that Governor Diri pointed this out. And that is refunding what has been spent by the state on this road. Making sure that what has been spent is refunded. That is the true spirit of partnership. And it's so important that we have in President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Diri a combination that works.
It has been a very difficult journey, taking over the construction of this 36-kilometer stretch of road. About 10 bridges have to be built, crisscrossing lakes, rivers, swamps, and at an astronomical cost.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was honored by the traditional rulers of the area. The Vice President had earlier visited the Bayelsa Traditional Rulers Council at their secretariat in Yenagoa, where he was conferred with another chieftaincy title. In Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, Jude Onifade, NTA News.
Governor Gboyega Oyetola has been declared winner of the All Progressives Congress governorship primary election in Osun State. Announcing the result at the party secretariat in Osogbo, the chairman of the election committee and Kwara State's governor, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, said Governor Oyetola polled 222,169 out of the 235,550 votes cast. Femi Afariogun reports.
Long wait, few minutes to 1 in the morning, the returning officer for the Osun APC governorship primary election and Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak commenced the process of collating results. Governor Oyetola, former Deputy Speaker House of Representatives Lason Yusuf, and former Secretary to the State Government Moshood Adeoti just stood for 235,550 votes cast in a direct primary, eventually won by Governor Oyetola in all the 30 local governments of the state.
I, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, Chairman Primary Election Committee, hereby certify that Adegboyega Isiaka Oyetola, having secured the highest number of votes cast in the Osun governorship primary election, is hereby declared winner.
Meanwhile, Governor Gboyega Oyetola has called for unity in the party to achieve victory during July governorship election.
For me, we're all winners. I therefore extend my hand of fellowship to the other aspirants to join me as we prepare for the July election. We're all brothers. Let us join hands to build the Osun of our dream.
With APC primary election gone, the focus of the party is now on July 2022 governorship election. In Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
As the day for the by-elections in Cross River State draws nearer, the need for all stakeholders, candidates and their supporters to abide by the tenets of the electoral law before, during and after the exercise dominated discussions at political parties and security agencies meeting preparatory for the exercise in Abuja, Iyala Federal Constituency. Esu Edodi reports that the forum was organized by the Independent National Electoral Commission.
This gathering is at the instance of the nation's electoral umpire for relevant stakeholders in the upcoming elections to be reminded of the rules expected during the election for a hitch-free and credible poll. For the political gladiators, a level playing ground for all political parties and a conducive environment for electorate to vote candidate of their choice is paramount. Prior to the exercise, the politicians are also suing for campaigns devoid of calumny as they plead with security agencies to discharge their duties in accordance with extant laws.
Deeply satisfied with the briefings given to us so far, particularly with the use of beavers in the elections. That proves that it will be very transparent. I just believe that they maintain what they have said. It shouldn't be words of mouth. It should be put into action, into practice.
My prayer is that whatever has been promised here
whatever has been said here should be translated into action.
The resident electoral commissioner said INEC is prepared to conduct the election and urges relevant stakeholders to conduct themselves properly.
The election is a by-election. If you remember, the election in Anambra, for example, was a new election in the sense that the governor was coming in the first time. So the commission felt it wise to make sure that those people that registered voted.
Stakeholders for the 26 February by-election in Ogoja Yala Federal Constituency agreed that the meeting is rewarding for enhanced credible exercise. In Ogoja, Esu Idudi, NTA News.
In another development, youth groups in Nigeria under the aegis of the National Grassroots Youth Coalition for Good Governance have held a round table to raise awareness on political participation among youth in the country. Austin Anyebe reports that issues of voter registration, mobilization for young candidates irrespective of political parties dominated the discussions. It was also used to educate youth on how to go about electoral issues in their various communities without violence.
Much of the challenges we're having today arose because they have been left out of governance of leadership. If we have a young population, it means that the young ones should be part of it.
The youth constitute over 50% of the entire population. If that is correct, why is it now the youth keep on lamenting all the time?
We must continue to engage. We must have patience, enduring patience for that matter, as well as think of developing ideas on how to engage with our leader.
The round table is expected to be a regular event ahead of the 2023 general elections. The long queues at petrol stations in Abuja are gradually disappearing. Mayor Ogidi visited some stations and now reports.
Like a receding flood, driving in and out now in minutes. The instruments for crowd control still here to tell the story of the dark days in the petrol station. There is a glimmer of hope, stress gradually giving way to smile. This is the situation at most petrol stations in the Federal Capital Territory.
It has been long, they're open since morning. That's the reason why I see that the queues are kind of a little bit down.
The same price they're giving us at the end of 165.
Good news for the motorist. Good news that comes with personal sacrifices for filling stations like this one.
We got fuel from Suleja Depot, that is there in the open market. But the challenges we had there, our director always buy the fuel at the cost of 168 naira 50 kobo. As you can see, the gamma regulation price is 165, but he bought it at the cost of 168 naira 50 kobo in order to maintain the customer. So things are getting better, things are restoring to the normal. By God's grace, within this week, maybe to next week, everything will be okay.
A huge sacrifice, but moments like this is a test of patriotism. Mayor Ogede, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee investigating operations of real estate developers in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, has resolved to recommend for seizure or demolition of any estate development site that does not meet standards. The decision was announced by the committee chairman, Blessing Onu, at a hearing on certification. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Many issues were uncovered at the hearing, ranging from non-approval of some estate development sites that have gotten their structures completed and unauthorized change of purpose upon which lands are secured for.
As of the time I bought it, they started something on it. So when I came, I continued the development.
Procedures that they're supposed to do on me in the hospital today, I couldn't do it.
Sorry about that. Chief executive of one of the property companies was excused from the sitting on health condition, while the CEO of another estate development company was questioned on the certain number of plots acquired without proper documentation.
The document that we submitted to the committee, they made their recommendation and we made corrections. They then gave approval and gave us the development agreement. We didn't go to development control.
We are here as a People's Parliament to even put you through in areas that you need help. We are trying to sanitize this sector.
The committee requested for building plan approval given to all the companies in question for further legislative action. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Nationwide continues in our Lagos studio with Adeola giving us the next set of reports. Good evening, Adeola.
Good evening, Ayo. The advent of COVID-19 left scars on various sectors of the economy, forcing people to adapt a new lifestyle. While the world is still grappling with that, education experts advised that adopting an aggressive, stringent approach is needed to achieve an all-inclusive educational system for a better society. Annie Daniels has details.
Statistics from UNESCO reveals that presently 258 million children and adolescents are not in school, while 670 million children and adolescents cannot read and solve basic maths, and less than 40% of girls in sub-Saharan Africa completed lower secondary school.
The out-of-school students is one thing that is bedeviling the whole of the country, or not only Nigeria, the whole of the African nation. It's going to affect the society negatively.
This trend, education experts say, spells doom for Nigeria's educational system and detrimental to the actualization of the Sustainable Development Goals.
As also include poverty of ideas, poverty of the brain, poverty of the mind.
Changing course, transforming education. One way of achieving this, education experts say, is by promoting an all-inclusive digital education, especially in Nigeria, to bridge the gap created by the pandemic.
Zoom classes were held virtually, online, various documents, and even before we even went over the lockdown, there were already documents released. So at home too, though it wasn't easy.
My dad will not allow me to sleep. He will tell me every time I'll go and buy card. Whenever I buy card, I'll load it. I'll be waiting for the comments, but I will not see any comments until the data will not finish.
There are some universities, some colleges in Nigeria that have the infrastructure. They are doing pretty well. They are doing very well. But you see, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6%. 6 out of 100, that's not a good situation.
No student will complain that there's no light and all those things that will cause disruptions.
That is why I am asking government, private sectors to come together and make those things available for them.
Creating an affordable digital platform that will be attractive to everyone, these experts say, is all that is needed for Nigeria's educational system to compete favorably with those elsewhere. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Engaging in regular exercise may not totally be a one-size-fits-all solution to all ailments. It sure comes in handy as a cheaper remedy of preventing various health challenges. To check the prevalence of cardiovascular diseases and other stress-induced conditions among residents of Lagos State, members of Rotary Club of Lekki Phase 1, District 9110, are advocating regular routine of physical exercises. Adeniyi Taiwo reports.
In highly congested environment such as Lagos State, high prevalence of heart-related conditions such as cardiovascular disease is often stress-induced. Medical experts want residents to choose the prevention option by adopting regular physical exercise as a lifestyle. Members of the Rotary Club of Lekki Phase 1, District 9110, Nigeria, are queuing behind this message with a roadwalk in Lagos to call attention to the health benefits of regular exercise, thereby promoting public health.
Cardiovascular disease generally most often do not have symptoms. They are silent diseases. you understand? And it is prevalent in our environment, usually among the elderly. We know that with routine exercise and other form of exercise, it may help to prevent some of these diseases.
Even if it's 30 minutes a day work, they should do. It's very, very important. It helps you. And also, as you try to keep healthy, you must make sure that your environment is clean.
We incorporated sanitation. So you could have seen us picking up all the debris on the road so that we keep our environment cleaner.
Young Jason Oko took part in the Walk for Life. Even at age 7, he sees the nexus between routine physical exercise and immunity against some diseases.
That's why all these COVID-19, Omicron are coming.
I'm advocating now. I'm saying to all of you out there, so that we can live long, happy and healthy, I encourage everyone to try and walk.
As a member of the Rotary Club International, Rotary Club of Lekki Phase 1, District 9110 Nigeria, has since its establishment on June 29, 2008, been making a difference, especially in the areas of fighting diseases and promoting peace. In Lagos, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
And those are the stories from here, but don't forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live, on our YouTube at NTA News Online, Facebook at NTA Network News, Twitter handle at NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates. Nationwide will continue with Salamatu Lukman in Kaduna after this break. To stay with us.
Thanks for staying tuned, and you're welcome to Kaduna on Nationwide. Capacity of the Nigerian Armed Forces towards defeating threats to national security remains sacrosanct in view of the sustained commitments to train officers and men on modern warfare. Former Chief of Training and Operations Defense Headquarters, Major General Lawrence Kubani, said this in Kaduna during beating of the retreat and recognition of excellence in honor of graduating cadets of the Nigerian Defense Academy. Suleiman Rugachkun reports.
Beating of the retreat is a culmination of military training by graduating officer cadets of the Nigerian Defense Academy. There is also a tradition for rewarding excellence during physical training and sports. After 11 months intensive military and academic training, the 292 graduating short service officer cadets are ready for presidential commissioning into the nation's armed forces.
The armed forces generally are overstretched. And whatever number the armed forces will get, particularly the army, because most of them are in the army, I think it's a great improvement. It means it will add to the manpower development, manpower that is required out there. So I expect that the quality training they have received here will be put into practice, and that will add value to some of our security challenges.
Military authorities say with upgrade of training modules and curriculum in training institutions, Nigeria's security architecture is now better enhanced to deal with prevailing realities. Suleiman Rigachkun, NTA News.
Away from Kaduna, we'll move to Kano. The Niger Republic and Kano State government have agreed to strengthen their educational test through Students Exchange Program. The commitment is part of the outcome of meeting between Nigerian Minister of Education and Scientific Research, Mamadou Jibo, with Deputy Governor of Kano State, Nasiru Yusuf Gauna. Our Salisu has the details.
Barely 48 hours after the Niger Republic's Minister of Vocational Training, Kasum Maman Mukhtar, visited Kano on a study tour of youth empowerment program and skills acquisition facilities in the state, his counterpart of education and scientific research, Dr. Muhammad Jibo, visited Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduji to seek for greater cooperation. through strengthening of student exchange program and other related issues on collaborations between tertiary institutions in Kano State and Niger Republic. The minister said many years back, students from Niger Republic come to Nigeria, especially Kano, to study in various tertiary institutions. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, represented by his deputy Nasir Yusuf Gawuna, said Kano State is ready to enter partnership in areas of interest and benefit. The governor thanked the minister for the visit and assured of the state's readiness to sign MOU with Niger Republic. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
And that completes our package. From here is back to Ayodeji for more stories on Nationwide. Good evening.
Thanks. Back here, let's tell you that 20th February of every year is International Day commemorating air crash victims and their families. The day is a solemn affair to ensure that the mental, physical and spiritual well-being of victims involved in civil aviation accidents and their families are considered and accommodated by International Civil Aviation Organization and its member states. Nigeria's Accident Investigation Bureau joined its counterparts worldwide to mark the day. ICAO policies and guidelines ensure that the needs of the victims and their families are addressed in a timely manner. This AIB is trying to build upon by introducing a family support program, though yet to be supported by legislation. To some security matters now, Katsina State Police Command has neutralized 2 suspected bandits and rescued 8 kidnapped victims after a gun duel at a village in Malumfashi local government area of the state. Addressing newsmen on the development, the command's public relations officer, Superintendent of Police Gambo Isa, said 4 of the rescued victims are nursing mothers. Obwal Haliru reports.
For some months now, activities of banditry and kidnapping are at lowest ebb in Katsina owing to the intensified efforts of the security operatives in the state. However, the police public relations officer of the Katsina Command, Superintendent Gamba Isa, says the suspected bandits were neutralized after kidnapping 4 nursing mothers from Gandin Karfi village of Malam Fashi local government area. Items recovered from the neutralized bandits include 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 Boxer motorcycle, and rustled cattle.
They were on their way into the forest through Kankara local government area of the state. DPO Kankara was quickly alerted and detailed to block the hoodlums. He succeeded in doing that.
SP Gamba Isa explained that while the command is doing everything possible to reunite the rescued kidnapped victims with their families, security operatives are still on the trail of other suspected bandits who escaped into the forest with gunshots. In Katsina, Awal Haliru, NTA News.
113 victims of human trafficking have been rescued by the Uyo Zonal Command of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons in the last 9 months. Among those rescued are 11 victims of suspected labor exploitation. Clement Barikui reports.
11 victims comprising 7 boys and 4 girls between the ages of 13 and 19 were rescued in Imo State en route to Osun State for suspected labor exploitation. Arrested were the human traffic syndicate, the driver and the conductor of a 18-seater bus used in conveying the victims. They claimed that was not the first time the victims were being taken for the jobs.
Your guy asked you to bring. I did before. They say they won't follow me. It go there again this year.
Just give me number. If you reach Akwa, I go see people. I go carry. I dey see this boy. I don't know about anything.
Other breakthroughs by NAPTIP Uyozono Command between May 2021 and January 2022 include rescuing of 102 victims of human trafficking. About 24 of such cases are pending in various courts in Akwa Ibom State.
The Uyozono Command is committed to fight against all forms of human trafficking, child labor, child abuse.
While appreciating partners for their support, NAPTIP Uyozono Command says its efforts are further hindered by inadequate operational vehicles and non-inclusion of NAPTIP in the State Security Council. In Uyo, Clement Barekui, NTA News.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have foiled an attempt by a syndicate to push fake $4.7 million cash into the Nigerian economy. This followed the interception of a consignment at the Abuja area of the FCT on February 18, 2022, sent from Lagos to Abuja. However, a 52-year-old suspect was arrested in connection with the seized parcel, and both the cash and suspects in custody are to be transferred to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for further investigation. Meanwhile, the agency has also arrested 3 suspects of illicit drug trafficking with over 300 kilograms of illicit drugs, to include cannabis sativa, tramadol, diazepam, among others, in Kwara and Adamawa states. In the meantime, Abuja Security Network Ebonyi State Command has handed over 8 suspects caught in possession of parcels of substance suspected to be cannabis and meds, also known as Mkpurumiri, to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in Ebonyi State. Ijoma Peter Wante reports.
While handing over the suspects with the items recovered to Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Ebonyi State, officials of the state Abuja security outfit tasked them to further investigate the suspects with the aim of uncovering all those behind the illicit trade.
Ebonyi is not safe for you people to come and do drug business. Giving a serious advice to the youth to remove their hands from Mkpurumini or hard drugs, or else, because my eyes on them, I'm watching them, because I'm going to make sure that I produce them out and through to the NDLA.
Efforts to speak with the Deputy State Commander, NDLEA Ebonyi State Command, Mrs. Amaka Ekwalo, proved abortive. Meanwhile, 3 suspects attested that they are dealers of methamphetamine, popularly known as Mkpurumiri. 4 suspects said they are users of the hard drugs, while 2 who were intercepted with live bullets were later handed over to Ebonyi State Police Command for further interrogation. In Abakaliki, Ijoma Peter Wante, NTA News.
Obehi is standing by in our Benin Network Center for more reports on Nationwide. Good evening, Obehi.
Good evening, Ayodeji. Thank you very much for joining us in Benin. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC Edo State Command, has clamped down on some fuel stations in Benin and arrested defaulters for hoarding and selling the product above the official pump price. Eugenia Ndubisi reports.
The operation, led by the commandant and other officials, visited fuel stations at Airport Road, Ababa, Sapele Road and Obo in GRA, all in Benin. It was discovered that the stations were selling between 215 naira and 220 naira as against the pump price of 165 naira.
Are going around to see some of them are hoarding. If they don't want to open their filling station, we must make sure that they comply with the standards.
Some who hoarded the product were forced to open and sell to motorists at 165 naira a litre.
Did have to be faced to 165. Now, 20 liters.
The commandant, NSCDC Edo State, Anekan Odoyeyop, condemned the attitude of some owners of fuel stations in the state who are creating artificial scarcity by hoarding or selling above the approved price. The command arrested some persons from the defaulting stations. The exercise to clamp down on both major and independent marketers selling above pump price and hoarding fuel in Edo State continues. In Benin, Eugenia Ndubisi, NTA News.
And away from security now, the Minister of State for Mines and Steel, Uchechukwu Oga, and other stakeholders in the mining sector in Edo State have been interfacing and brainstorming with the federal government on possible ways to drive more revenue from the nation's mining industry through industry collaboration and transparency. The minister, who is in Edo State for a 3-day working visit, also sought the support of the state governor, Godwin Obaseki. Elizabeth Omoko reports.
Worried about the uncoordinated activities of miners across the country without improved earnings from the sector, these stakeholders across the state are here to rub minds, provide solutions and make clarifications on seemingly misunderstood policy implementation on roles of the federal and state governments in mining operations. The need for synergy between the federal government, community heads, and local council authorities will help stamp out illegal mining activities and give smallholders the opportunity to earn more.
So that we can mainstream the artisanal miners, bring them into the mining ecosystem, and then let them have the shared prosperity in mining.
We are going to partner with the State Security Service, also with the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals, in order to get the people that have the right licenses. Then with our own State Ministry of Public Safety, we'll work together to address those issues.
The Mines and Steel Minister, Uchechukwu Oga, took the mining campaign to Governor Godwin Obaseki, where he solicited his cooperation. The Edo State Governor says there is need for a decentralization of power in mining activities to help maximize the mining potential and make the industry an alternative source of revenue in the country. Governor Godwin Obaseki believes that the efforts of the federal government is timely due to the continued falling in oil prices and the dire environmental challenges trailing crude oil exploration. In Benin, Elizabeth Omako, NTA News.
Please remember you can follow these news broadcasts live on our website, NTA NG Live, and on YouTube channel, NTA News Now, on our Facebook page, NTA Network News, and on Instagram, NTA Network, for updates. Zerit is standing by in Jos for more reports on Nationwide. That is right after this break.
For staying with us on Nationwide, and welcome to Jos. Federal government says it will give maximum support to Federal College of Veterinary and Medical Technology, VOM, for it to realize its full potentials. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar, stated this while inaugurating some projects executed by management of the college. Grace Akwegotip has details.
The Federal College of Veterinary and Medical Technology, VOM, has the mandate of training manpower needed for veterinary and medical research laboratory and industries. The college also has the responsibility of training manpower for diagnosis of human and animal diseases. 3 major projects executed by management to give the college a facelift were inaugurated by the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development during his official visit to the institution. They are a block of 4 classrooms, demonstration ground of environmental health technology, and viral vaccination production.
I'm really excited that I'm here, and I think it's a college that should be and must be supported to do even more, especially if they are manufacturing vaccines. This is a very strategic college for the country, for the veterinary, human medicine, agriculture, and the environment in general.
The minister's visit is very significant to this college. Economically, we know that there will be changes, area of budgeting, because he has come to see things for himself. And some of our challenges have been, spelled out clearly. And I know that, he will make a change.
Management called for adequate support to enable it achieve its mandate. In VOM, Grace Akwegotip, NTA News.
Major key Major key players in the search for peace in Plateau State have again assembled with renewed appeal to citizens to work for true and enduring peace in the state. This latest meeting is tagged Interreligious Peace and Reconciliation towards Promoting Peace and Security in Plateau State. Caleb Gochin has the story.
There have been series of peace rallies in Jos aimed at finding solutions to the crises that have engulfed the state, with this being described as a pilot project.
We desire that people engage and practice tolerance, forgiveness.
Nobody from outside can come and give you peace. It is only when you are ready and you say you want peace, peace will come.
6 local governments of Riom, Barkinladi, Bassa, Jos South, Jos North, and Jos East are here fully represented with the mind of digging deep into the issues that have been the stumbling blocks to lasting peace, particularly in the crisis-prone areas.
I always preach peace for my community. I wanted to live in peace with everybody.
We call on all the citizens of Plateau State and Nigeria at large to live in peace.
We need to believe that peace is important, and then we must commit ourselves to maintaining peace.
Women have a key role, both Muslim and Christian women, on the issue of parental guidance, and I think they should keep watch of their children, what they are doing.
Professionals in peace development underscored the role of every segment of the society in contributing to peace, as it should not be left for governments, individuals or groups alone to handle. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Ayo in Abuja for more reports on Nationwide.
Thanks, Zenret, in our Jos Network Center. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Omar Farouk, has directed the immediate delivery of food and relief items to victims of the fire incident at the Muna El Badawi Internally Displaced Persons Camp in Maiduguri Saturday. Expressing sorrow over the incident, which claimed lives and razed more than 3,000 shelters in the camp, the minister sympathized with the government and people of the state, saying, and I quote, "The spate of fire incidents in IDP camps has become recurrent, and the ministry is putting up measures to educate the IDPs on ways of preventing such fire disasters." End of quote. Meanwhile, the minister has since directed the provision of relief materials, while the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and the state's counterpart, SEMA, are still assessing the damage. The National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Control Program and partners have identified low awareness creation as a major cause of low TB case findings in the country. This necessitated a media engagement to help bridge the gap of 73% of the population ignorant about the disease and availability of free treatments. Uche Ugochukwu reports.
On an annual basis, we have new infections in the tune of 440,000 new cases. One unintervened case has the capacity to infect 20 to 25 people. That means Nigeria is sitting on the keg of gunpowder when it comes to tuberculosis.
Only 27% of Nigerian population have this information. Although the country has free and effective treatments for tuberculosis, many patients do not access the services due to ignorance, poor health-seeking behavior, and fear of stigmatization. The media here are trusted to bridge this gap and move Nigeria from ranking first in Africa and sixth among 30 high-burdened countries globally, as well as sustain the progress made so far.
We hope that you also network with technical people.
But we're also counting on you to broadcast the gaps and how we need to mobilize more local resources to NTB in Nigeria.
Advocacy seeks to garner political will, financial support through commitment of policymakers at all levels of government, donor agencies, and the private sector.
Meanwhile, data from the national program indicates a rise in TB in children, which can be prevented by the BCG vaccine given to babies at birth. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has alerted the public on the possibility of some northern cities in the country to experience dust haze, which can lead to deterioration in horizontal visibility. In a statement, the Central Forecast Office revealed that some cities in the northern part of the country may begin experiencing gradual deterioration in horizontal visibility as early as Sunday evening. According to the statement, dust haze is expected to intensify before the end of the day over most parts of the northern cities, as horizontal visibility should further deteriorate from the evening of Saturday, 19th February 2022 to the next 48 hours, as thick dust haze should be observed over the northern cities, keeping visibility to 1,000 meters and below over places like Maiduguri, Uguru, Potiskum, Dotse, Gombe, Yola, Bauchi, Katsina, Kano, and Kaduna. Road users and people with respiratory problems are advised to be cautious. The statement also said flight operations may be disrupted and airline operators are advised to pick up their flight folders and stick to regulations, especially at aerodromes in the northern parts of the country. And sports is next with Enejo Adiku.
The Super Falcons have departed Nigeria for Abuja, Cote d'Ivoire for the second leg African Women Championship qualifiers against the Lady Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire. The second leg match, which will take place on Wednesday at the Stade Robert Kamura, will decide which country will qualify for the 12th edition of the African Women Championship in Morocco later this year. In the Nigerian Professional Football League, Enyiba Football Club of Aba drew 1-1 at home to MFM, while Sunshine Stars of Akure is hosting Kwara United of Ilori at the Ondo State Sports Complex in Akure. In other development, Federal Capital Territory Abuja has emerged winner of this year's annual Ramad Cup. Abuja Boys defeated the host, Kano State, by a lone goal during the final decided at Sani Abacha Stadium, Kano.
And all the states for their untiring efforts.
In other sports, Nigeria will play host Guinea on Sunday evening at the African Women Junior Handball Championship. The Nigerian under-20 female handball team couldn't outscore Tunisia as they lost to the North Africans by 42-40 in their first match. The coach Bukola Duru tutored side will face a tougher test as they play Guinea, who defeated Algeria 36-21 and are motivated by their home advantage and teaming fans. In cricket, the Season 5 of Rajasthan Cricket Premier League is ongoing at the Cricket Oval of the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos. Organizers say the choice of the venue and the brain behind the competition is to be part of efforts to popularize the game of cricket in Nigeria and strengthen the bilateral relationship between Nigeria and India. With Sports Update, Enejo Adiku, NTA News.
And that's nationwide. We thank you for watching. I'm Ayo Deji. Makinde, please remember to connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. On behalf of the entire production crew, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.